We are here today on NEO's Spotlight, which is going to focus on a very interesting, very fascinating organization, the INX digital company. And we have the pleasure to have with us three top representatives of that organization. Shai Datica, the CEO. That's Shai. Aitai Avneri, the COO, and Doug Borthwick, the CBO, Chief Business Officer. That one we need to clarify. And I cannot think of a better period to have a discussion with all of you, considering the market circumstances that we are all experiencing, which are quite unique and exceptional, but that reoccur over time. Fascinating organization because you are running trading platforms for digital securities and cryptocurrencies. You are listing digital assets. You also have in your group an interdealer broker. That is going to look at some other types of services with respect to some forward instruments. So lots of things going on, and I think the best way to start, Shai, before we get into a bit of a discussion around the market overall, but that's maybe to put the basics down around the organization. There's lots of people who know you. There's a number of people who don't know you well yet, and it would be great to get a little bit of a feeling about the organization. Who are you? Go a little bit deeper than what I said about what are you doing and where are you in your status, in your progress so far. And to the audience, I would like to say, if you have any questions, put them forward in the Q&A box, and I'll make sure that they will be put forward to the great team we have here with us today. Shai, let's talk a bit about INX as we are today.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you, everyone. Hello to everyone. Josh, with your permission, I would like to start with something a little bit different.
Sure.
We see the market acting both on the traditional financial side and on the crypto side. And you ask what is the basic of INX, what we believe in, where are we going to? And I think this is a very good example of where we are going to. We heard Mr. Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, yesterday or 2 days ago, where he said that he is worried. He is worried because the US investors and, of course, the Canadian investors are not protected. He is worried because some of the US exchanges and platforms are working with, how do I say this, lack of regulation or transparency for both regulators and, more importantly, for their clients. Gensler said that all the US platforms should be monitored by the SEC. It means that he believes that most of the issued tokens are securities because this is the SEC, Security Exchange Commission. So if we go back to INX, this is exactly what we, INX, believe, and this is what we do. We operate two platforms. Both of them are up and running, one for digital currencies and utility tokens with the same licenses like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, and the other platform is for digital security tokens with a BD, broker-dealer license from FINRA and the SEC. We build a long-term vision company. We list digital currencies on the digital platform only if we 100% certain that they are not securities. But if they are securities, we will list those tokens on the security token platform. If we look into the near future, and I'm saying in the near future, I believe this is a question of months. I'm sure that the SEC will announce that most of the listed tokens on the US digital platforms are considered as securities. By the way, this is the same like what he did with the XRP. They came one day and they said, this is a security. And the day after, most of the digital platforms delisted the XRP. So those tokens will have to delist from the current platforms and come to INX, come to us, because we have the license to list security token. So this is our vision, a world with many digital assets where some of them are currencies. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they are currencies, but most of them are securities, and we are ready for both.
Yep. Well, I think, your point about the regulators, and in this case, the SEC stepping in, I totally align with you, and I have no doubt that is going to happen. And I think it's a very unique position in which you are by having that license. And we've seen similar developments already taking place in Canada by the regulators over here. Now, that is what you see as the environment. That is what you see as the context. Where would you say is INX today? Like, if you would say, this is what INX is doing, this is what INX is offering, this is the type of businesses that are growing, how would you define that?
Well,
I think this is what I want to say. I want to pass this question to Douglas, but I will say one thing. We have built during the past 3 years the infrastructure and the ground and the basis for the future. And now we are in the stage to go out with everything. And I leave it to Douglas to elaborate more from him.
Yeah, thanks you. Douglas.
Well, Joss, everyone's sitting here saying crypto is a disaster. This past week has been an absolute nightmare. And I think what people need to understand is that, we're not like crypto per se. We're not really shouldn't be in that bucket. We're a securities company, a broker dealer that raises capital. But also we have a cryptocurrency trading business, but we don't take any risk. One thing you should know is that, potential customers in this type of environment really play into INX's hand. You've got retail that want to trade from the comfort of their home, and we're about to come out with our app, in the next few weeks. And I think that, one of the questions we can ask is, did your crypto platform let you down this week? And I think that absolutely everyone that was very comfortable with who they were using before is going to turn around and say, no, I'm not happy at all. And I think that plays into our hands, because we don't list coins that we haven't done due diligence on, that are sitting there that, other people may see as being scammy, just because we could make some money on it. No, there'll be protections in place to make sure that we list things that we believe are actually what they say they are. A stable coin should be a stable coin. But not just that, it's also the fact that we can bring new business opportunities, investment opportunities to folks. And we think that's going to be very important as we go through this presentation. We're also big for institutions. Institutions are looking for liquidity, and APIs are looking for liquidity that doesn't go down. And I think you could pretty much go across the board for all the crypto companies that exist this week and find out that they were down on the left-hand side or right-hand side or both sides in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's not INX's deal. I think you also have to look at issuers, because remember, we're not just crypto. We're a company that raises capital for people. When an issuer raises capital on the digital side, they actually know their cap table. They know exactly who owns it, when they own it in live time. When we list a regular asset, it could take us a couple of weeks to find out who actually owns the stock, the underlying. But on the digital side, you see it automatically. There's also the capital introduction, the relationship with holders. And we've got an issuer pipeline that we might go into in detail a little bit later, that's topping around $3 billion of time in terms of that we've got waiting for us to start raising capital. Now, obviously, this past week wasn't the right environment for that. I think we could all agree on that one. But we've got some really great names, I think, that we'll go into later on in this presentation. But let me give you over to Ty, because I think he's got some things to say about ideology and business incentives.
Thanks, Doug. Hi, Joss. I think if I combine what both Shai and Doug mentioned, there is a nice saying by Victor Hugo. If you don't build castles in the air, you won't build anything on the ground. And we too, when we start speaking about the vision, we too had a vision, and we have worked to turn it into a reality in the past year. We have now reached that moment. And speaking about execution and speaking about what we're doing, we're actually not just talking the talk, but actually walk the walk, because INX executed its vision to raise capital using a digital security. And today we're able to help other companies, the issuer that Doug mentioned before, to issue a security token and raise capital. We're building this oiled machine that is ready to start moving and taking the issuers basically hand in hand in this journey, similar journey to what we did for ourselves. We're offering them token as a service. We are offering them marketing capabilities, transfer agent services, a platform for primary as well as secondary listing and trading. A real, I would say, full turnkey solution. There are many business and financial incentives for a company to choose this route and issue a digital security. Zero dilution on the equity cap table, fractional ownership, and trading platform that is available 24/7, 365 days a year, maybe unlike NEO and Nasdaq in that respect, are merely part of the considerations. But in addition, it's also important to understand the ideology and philosophy behind it. The fact that during such a race, each and every participant is getting the same price at the same time is a huge plus for the community. And I'm sure that the new type of traders, let's say the crypto savvies or not, they all want to cut out the middleman, and they will not accept the VC leftovers anymore. This is the true way to democratize finance. Last but not least, I will add that a successful capital raise is only possible with a strong community behind it. A fair play, allowing basically the general public to get in on from day one, which basically makes it so the raise is essentially done by the people and for the people. They will be the ones to see the return as the company will grow. And this is what also will happen with INX. Each issuer that we'll speak about later on in the presentation will come with its own community and will help transform INX to a global hub, a community of communities. So we combine everything together from the vision to the execution. And if I may, a few more words about, from a product point of view. Our number one priority is to go live with INX 1. This will be actually the first time where a customer will be able to trade digital securities side by side with cryptocurrencies. We're basically merging the two platforms together, and we will offer a seamless experience for key processes such as onboarding, trading, funding, and payments in the account. The crypto trading mobile app that Doug mentioned before was approved by both stores already, and we are actually, the soft launch is already in progress. We're getting very, very positive feedbacks from selected customers and token holders that we invited for this soft launch, and we are expecting a full release within the next couple of weeks. We're constantly adding a new crypto assets to the platform. AVAX, Mana, Sand, Matic, were only added in the past month or so, and FTM and Wi-Fi will be added in the next few days, coming days. We also launched a referral program. This is all happening in the past month or so. We launched a referral program for the crypto side, where we onboarded over 50,000 new customers without any marketing, purely word of mouth, purely fueled by the power of the INX community. And we are very thankful for that. By the way, we're going to do a referral program for the INX token on the security side, the INX security token, and it's coming up in the next few days. I would maybe the last point here is that the increased traffic, the good volume that we are experiencing, also point us to places where we need to improve. We know, we understand it, and we need to automate some key business processes to better the overall experience.
Thank you, Atay. Thank you, Douglas, for those comments and those insights about the organization. One thing that would be interesting if you think about it, and I have a question here which is not totally totally clear, but I'm going to try to paraphrase it and maybe take a bit of a different approach. If I am a company and I want to raise capital, what would be the, three, and I'm sure there's 20, but what would be the three core reasons where you would say, let's do this through a security token on INX?
Yeah, I'll answer that, Joss. I'd say we talk to between 2 and 5 companies, issuers, every single day. And we've got a business development team in New York and guys in Israel that are talking to a lot of companies, and a lot of folks come to us. And generally, the most successful security tokens are going to be ones that already have tens of thousands of people already involved with them. They have a community. And by community, it could be anything. It could be if you're a hotel and you're raising money because you want to sell the hotel as a security token. Well, it's people that have stayed at your hotel more than once because it sounds like they like that hotel. If it's a gaming company and they've got 200 million users, they probably know you. And you could probably send an email out to them saying, hey, guys, we're raising money. If it's a brewery and they've got a mailing list of 20,000, 25,000 people, that's probably someone you can go directly to. If it's an English Premier League soccer team, you got good name recognition. At the same time, you got a huge fan base. That's excellent too. But that's probably the biggest thing is sort of, do you have a community already? Now, Inex, no one knew who we were. We raised 85 million from 7,250 people. But if you want to get off the ground running, if you've got a large community and people using your product that already believe in you and have heard your vision, that's probably the easiest way to sort of get out of the starting blocks. But aside from this, I'd love to talk about what makes Inex unique and maybe separates it from others, because it's a question that comes up a lot. People are saying, well, Galaxy's down 80% and that's why you are. Or Coinbase is down 70% and that's why you are. And I got to tell you, we're not like either of these companies. First of all, on the regulatory approach side, we aren't in defense. Coinbase talked about raising $3 billion, $3 billion for a crypto winter. Meanwhile, I've heard about class action lawsuits for them listing security tokens that are maybe securities, but they list them without having the securities license. We're not in that. We're not playing defense here. We're an offense. Offense because we've got the regulators, as we always say, in the passenger seat rather than in the rearview mirror. We're a company that's grown from 15 people a year ago to 90 today. And in the time when others are looking at themselves and saying, look at all these people that were here. And now there's fewer and fewer people on their platform. We're growing the numbers of people on our platform. In terms of cash, we're at the best cash financial position we've ever been in. We've got $90 million sitting in the bank. And yet, if you look at the market cap of our stock today, I think it's trading around 51.8 million US. That's odd to me. Folks are looking at it saying, well, you know what? It's down because of what's happening at Galaxy or Coinbase or what's happening in the stablecoin world. Well, we're not in those worlds. Certainly, we've got businesses that are aligned with them, but these are businesses that we're growing throughout all of this. You got to look at our product. This one platform approach that Ty's talked about, this is the app that comes out in the fall, not the one that's coming out in the next few weeks. It's literally going to allow people to invest in private securities transactions, public securities transactions, and in crypto trades 24/7, 365 in their own time zone. That's pretty remarkable. And in a market dislocation like this is, where folks are sitting there and they're worried about, should I keep my custody over at this place or that place? Should I be buying this coin or that coin? Well, in market dislocation, when the new guy comes onto the block, that's a great time because we've got an extremely different product from what everyone else is offering. But at the same time, all of these other trees are getting shaken considerably and people are looking for that safe harbor. I think it's, I guess what I'd like to do now is really pass it to Ty, and if you could
before you go there, Douglas, I think you hit something very important, and I would like to underline that, and that is the fact that you are not the same type of organization. You don't provide the same services as the other platforms that you just mentioned, the Coinbase and the other ones, and I think that is something that is very important for investors to understand, an element that really needs to be stressed. And it takes us back, of course, in that big listing component, which I think is a very big component of where your future is. Could you tell us a little bit more before we move to Atay about the pipeline? Like, is it the types of companies you were talking about earlier? It's also a question that was brought up in the Q&A.
Yeah, well, the pipeline we have is, I've got large entertainment groups that have television shows and movies, and they want to raise capital from us. I've got large real estate, possibly the largest ever real estate security token transaction that we're just working on a prospectus with right now. I've got an English Premier League soccer team. I've got apps for, that are being used by millions of people that are raising capital to expand it more of it geographically. I have Bitcoin miners. The Bitcoin mining we all hear about, but these guys will pay out something like anywhere from half to 80% of all the Bitcoin they mine on a monthly basis. Even at Bitcoin prices at this level, that's something like 3 to 5% per month, yield, and it's variable, obviously. But that adds up to a considerable interest. Now, if you're coming from somewhere like Japan, the taxes, I believe, on crypto are something like 55%, on a security 35%. If you want to own Bitcoin, maybe you want to own it through a security. But we're also seeing, in China, where you can't buy Bitcoin, but you can buy a security, there might be some interest from there as well. But the reality is, if we raise $100 million as a company for another company in a raise, we charge around 5%. And we've got, as I said, around $3 billion that are on our pipeline now. They're all going to be coming at different times of the year and coming in for these raises. But I think we've curated these raises in a way such that it shows what security tokens can do. They've all got sort of different payout structures, or they've got different tokenomics, as we call it, for the token holders. Obviously, before and when we meet with them, we want to make sure that they have something that we think people want to buy. When someone comes with us with a strip mall in Texas, I don't think that's someone wants to buy today. That's on our platform. But when someone comes, let's say, with an English Premier League soccer club, that's probably something that people want to buy.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. I think it gives a bit of a feel indeed, and what I always think is very important also. As they say, the proof is in the pudding. You've done it. It's not that this is something that has not been done on the INX platform. You've done it for yourself, so we know it works, and that is important also. Atay, we have not too much time left, and there's one big question that I want to come back to Shai with, but when you look at the organization, so lots going on. Obviously, you have a couple of announcements in the nearby future. Where do you see the organization, long term?
Well, there are a few big milestones ahead of us, aside from what has already been mentioned, which is pretty big for itself. I would say the first one will be the custody part for the security token, for fiat and digital securities, generally speaking. So we consider the CeFi DeFi bridge that we have today on the security trading platform as an advantage. It's a unique selling point. The fact that each and every customer goes through KYC, but at the end of the day, he holds his own assets under his or his MetaMask wallet, his or her MetaMask wallet. At the same time, we want to attract the long tail, the mass market. And for that, we believe that we need a custody solution for the fiat. And this is something that is already in progress for us. And we're also discussing different options for digital securities custody. This will enable us to expand the reach and get much, much more exposure. The second thing I would say is that the company shares, and we're not talking about the token, and we're not talking about the app, we're talking the company shares that are trading on NEO today. And we are in the final stages of getting approvals to list them on the OTC as well. This will open the option for US residents to trade not only on the INX token, but also on the INX shares. And create and define the relationship between two different types of securities, basically trading in two different exchanges. Canadian residents, by the way, cannot trade the token just yet, and we're still working on a solution for that. In terms of licenses and regulation, which is a big effort for us, obviously, and we established a very good footprint in the US with the 40 money transmitter licenses, the broker dealer, ATS, transfer agent. The next big thing for us from that point of view, in that respect, in the US will be the BIT license application in New York and also the application in Texas. Outside the US, we're also starting to explore different options for licenses in Japan, the UAE, EU, and the UK.
Yeah. I was going to ask you the question about the global expansion, and I think you just gave the answer. So as I say, a hell of a lot ahead of you, and tremendous opportunities. Shai, I would like to come back to you with one last question. Time flies. Can't believe it. At the half hour already went by. I'm an investor. I'm looking at the market today. We know that what the market is. I think Douglas gave us some thoughts about that earlier. Crypto is under stress. Technology firms are under stress. Everything is under stress. And I'm an investor, and I'm a bit at a loss. But then I see and I listen to you, and I see here, not only a great story, but I see a team that has executed, and that has incredible capability to execute upon a vision. How should I react? How should I look at your stock? How should I look at the stock price? What should I do, or what should I take into consideration? Because we are not here to give, of course, advice to investors. That is not our role. Otherwise, we're going to get in trouble with the regulators. But what are your views on how an investor should look at this within the frame of your organization and the stocks that are available in the market?
Yeah, look, first of all, come play with us for long term. We are here for long term. We have built the foundation of the company for the past 3 years, and this is the idea, to build the infrastructure, the technology infrastructure, the regulatory infrastructure, the licenses, and then we want to go and fly. And this is the time that we are starting. And I think both Douglas and Itai mentioned it, and let me just summarize it. Investors sometimes are impatient. So our stock price has dropped while we have been building the basis of the future of the digital assets market as we see it. We have been adding capital, licenses, investors. Given the recent carnage, we believe that now is the time that customers will look to trade on a platform that performs real due diligence before listing cryptocurrencies and digital securities. We have spent the past year quietly shoring up our bank account to the tune of almost $90 million, accumulating licenses. Now we are allowing us to trade crypto in 40 states in the US, covering 75% of the US population. I think last time we spoke, it was like 25, 28. Yep. I believe in the next 3 to 6 months, we will cover 95% of the US population. On top of that, we have the broker-dealer license. It means that we can list and trade security tokens. So while selectively building a pipeline of tens of issuers to bring to the market as either IPOs, registers, of course, with the SEC, or private offering. This including raising capital for apps, Douglas mentioned before, Premier League, soccer team, ESG play, Bitcoin miners, offering high variable yield, as Douglas mentioned before, and many others. In total, we have a few billions, I say more than $3 billion of dollars in the pipeline of issuers. And when we go to the market to raise this capital, we bring along these issuers communities too. So it become a community of communities. In the case of the team, one case of the issuer, they have 600,000 potential buyers just from their fund base. You should look at us as an IB broker dealer on one side, dealing with 50 plus primary top tier bank in the world, and as Coinbase or Kraken trading in crypto to retail and institution, also as Goldman Sachs of the world raising capital for incredible companies, and a secondary trading platform for security token. Yet we are doing all of this, obviously on a smaller scale of all the names, all the giant I mentioned, with less than 90 people. This is all our own technology, and our burn rate, by the way, is less than $2 million a month. So in one of the most exciting and fast-growing market, the digital world, we are there, we are growing, and we keep our budget very, very straight. All of this come together in the next couple of weeks with the release of our mobile, as Itai mentioned before. We will release our mobile app in the next couple of weeks, I believe. We expect to onboard many investors, especially following this week shakeout. This investor will then be exposed to the new issuers to come, and we expect by the fall they will be able to invest with more and more new issues listed security token. And both trade in the crypto 24/7, 365 days a year. Our investor will be able to do so from the comfort of their home office, on their smartphone, in their time zone, in their convenience, and be able to invest using local currencies directly or via Apple Pay or via their MetaMask wallet with USDC or Ether. Last month, and I mentioned this before, we opened a referral program to our desktop trading. We saw over 50,000 registrations without any marketing, purely from organic word of mouth. Our app release, combined with marketing and even more marketing brought by issuer, sending investor to our platform, will transform our company footprint. Like we have said many times, this past year we laid the table. Now we are ready to serve the rapidly expanding numbers of global diners around the cloud, offering crypto and securities in a regulated fashion, how they want it, when they want it. And yet again, we are the first. It feels good to have the regulators in the passenger seat together with us, rather than in the rear view mirror.
Thank you, Shai. I think that when I listen to everything you say, to everything you've all said, this is a stock to keep an eye on, and I think that the market, as it has been evolving in the last week or few weeks, is in fact a market of opportunities, and I think that investors should do their homework. They should check your organization out, look at the information, keep a close eye on the news and on the future announcements. But these are all, big developments, short term and long term, based on the things that Itai was saying. That
we didn't mention, but our board approved a buyback of the share because it is cheap. For us, it's cheap. It's less than money in the bank account. So we started to execute this plan, and we have already reported that we started the buyback of the share.
Yeah, which is of course another indication. Again, we can't give anyone any recommendations or advice, but it's another indication of developments in the market that are critical information for investors to think about. We are 7 minutes over time, but I did not want to stop this. Gentlemen, I would like to say thank you very much. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for the information. I think this is critical. Sessions like this, allowing investors, future investors, or shareholders and future investors to truly understand and grasp what your value proposition is. And if there's a couple of thoughts that I would take back with me from this meeting, and not that I was not aware of some of them, of course, or most of them, that is, when you look at INX, don't look at it as an other cryptocurrency trading platform.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people do that. This is much more, and you've heard it today. I think you've heard it very clearly, not only in what you already are today with the security tokens, not only with what you're going to do in a few weeks when you roll out your app, but also with your longer term vision and how you're going to build out your organization. This is an organization that has proven the model. It's not like this is all still to be proven. You have proven a raise. You've done a raise yourself of $85 million in true security tokens in a regulated way. So you've done it, which means that it's achievable and it's feasible. And 3, markets are tough, but as I always say, it's when the markets are tough that the real opportunities are starting to emerge. And everyone should be looking at, of course, their portfolio, their capabilities, and all the opportunities that are there. But I would also say make sure to do your homework about INX, because I think we heard a very good story today. Douglas, Itai, sorry, and I said it right, I think most of the time. Itai, Shai, I want to thank you very much for your time, for your participation, and for your candor, and looking forward to reading about you in the coming weeks and months, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot in the news. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, Joss. Thank you.